In this video, I just wanted to show you how to optimize your seed starting without breaking the budget, especially if you're new to seed sowing. Because if you're new to seed sowing, and maybe you're in a new garden, you've moved into a new house, or you just want to grow something on your balcony, but you don't have any supplies, then it's going to be expensive because you're going to have to buy everything from scratch, including plastic pots. So these plastic pots obviously are rubbish. I bought them, used them once, they fell apart. That's a total waste of money, obviously. They're supposed to be separate cells so that you can get the seeds out without damaging the roots, and you can't, and they fall apart. These little brown ones here I bought one time only, and they're already broken. One use only. So bad for the environment, bad for the garden, bad for your wallet. And then the other problem with pots, these are recycled pots, so I actually use these from plants I did buy, but you know, they're just not the right shape. I mean, who wants to start seeds in a round pot? And also they're just too deep. So if you think about starting seeds in these pots, the top of the surface area is too small and the pot is too deep. So you have to end up using a load of compost to fill the pot up, only to be able to sow a few seeds on the top of the pot. So they're just rubbish. Even if you save them from other pots, they're just not what you want. What you want is rectangles, but you don't want to spend a lot of money. This is another option, sorry, is to just buy things on the cheap when you see them. So these were $10.99, and I would never pay $10.99 for these because they're really cheap and flimsy, but they'll do for a salad crop. But they were reduced to £3, and I thought sometimes, you know, when you're weighing up the time you'd spend, you know, thinking what pot to use, when you could just pick up this one like this for £3, sometimes it is worth it. But of course, if you have to buy everything new, then those £3, you'd have to buy a lot of these, and that would add up very quickly. So the solution is to buy these foil trays. Now, not only are foil trays more environmentally friendly than plastic, you can reuse them. And I have used them in my videos, in most of my gardening videos, right back from the beginning. But the problem with them is, as you can see, especially if you've got a shorter space, like in your greenhouse, you have this gap where they kind of leave a gap where they don't butt up together. They're just a bit cumbersome. They're a funny shape, and they're just not quite what you want. So yesterday when I was doing my zinnias, and I was doing a lot of zinnias, and I've obviously got limited space in my greenhouse, I thought, how can I fix these? Mainly the solution came about because I wanted them slightly deeper, because I need the zinnias to be in there for about a month, so I don't want the zinnia roots to be stressed. And as I was fixing the problem, I actually just came up with this mega solution that I'm just now going to use for all my seeds from now on. And that is basically just adapting these trays. Now, these trays are 69p for two, and I'm sure you get them in the US and Australia. I'm sure you do. And what you do is you just fold up the sides so that the sides are now straight rather than have a sort of an edge. And then you try and use your finger to get it at a 90-degree angle with the base, and then you just fold it over like you would sort of if you were making a bed. And I'm not very good at making beds because I use a duvet, but you know what I mean. In the old days when you used to use sheets and stuff like that, you used to do this, what do they call it? I don't know, like a corner. It's got a name, hasn't it? Anyhow, there you are. You just fold it, and the whole fold really supports the whole tray. And the whole thing actually just became so much more sturdy, and I will prove how sturdy they are in a little while. Just keep watching the video. I'll just prove how absolutely brilliant these are. They're absolutely, I'm never going back. I tell you, I'm never going back. So that was the first one. Of course, I did these yesterday with my zinnias, but I'm showing you these in this video today. And then I'll fast forward. I did 4 of these, and then I did 4 small ones. So let's just fast forward through those. And while I'm fast forwarding through them, these really, I am fast forwarding through them, but they really take no time at all. And now you can see that I have 2, how well they just butt up, leaving no wasted space on the shelving in your greenhouse. And I said they were versatile as well. And through the video, I'll show you how they are just, I mean, if you want to industrialize Or say, for instance, you work and you've got 10 minutes to sow a load of lettuce when you get home from work, and you just think, gardening's not for me. I just cannot, I haven't got the time. This system, just first of all, filling the trays was just so quick. Making the trays was so quick. And the hot sewing the trays was just so quick, quicker than I've ever had with any other pot or variety. They fit on the potting table while I was filling them up. They fit, in the greenhouse. They were just so versatile and tough, which I'm going to show you in a minute. But these were the ones I made into smaller plant pots. And the great thing about these little Diddy ones is that you can use them obviously as separate plant pots. You can use them to sow, say for instance, I use them for starting herbs because they're a nice size for starting herbs. But you can also use them with more delicate seeds that need to be watered from the bottom, because they happen to fit perfectly inside the larger trays, just like so. So if you wanted to, so you basically then bottom water and they fit perfectly. So obviously you wouldn't put drainage holes in the bottom one. If you're going to do that, you just put drainage holes in the smaller one. So sorry about the angle here. Here's me showing you just quickly how I make the holes. So you just need some sort of soft bottom because you don't want to ruin the shape of them when you're trying to poke the holes in them. So if you have a soft bottom with a bit of give, you can poke the holes and the foil tins keep their shape. And as I said, look how easy they are just to fill up in a few handfuls. They are full, rather than faffing about with those round pots or individual cells. I just literally threw it in, and then you can stack the next one straight on top and fill that one up as well. And that's what I say about industrializing your seed starting. The whole thing was done in sort of 10 minutes. It took me a bit longer because I was filming, but it was just so efficient. As I said, I am never going back to the old way. I'm always going to use these trays as long as I can get hold of them. Now, to prove what I was saying about how solid they are, look at this. You can just pick them up with one hand like that. No flopping about, the edges falling off. They just stayed absolutely solid. And in fact, I was able to stack 4 and carry 4 this way. So as if all that wasn't good enough, they are, of course, more environmentally friendly. I mean, I'm not going to say they are environmentally friendly because I presume it involves mining of the aluminium, and I'm not sure what that involves. But, at the end of the day, it can't be as bad as plastic. And, I feel better that it's not plastic, and I can reuse them. So I'm not going to be buying them every year over and over. I can just swill them out. They're much easier to empty out than those plastic containers. So yeah, and here I am watering them, and they drained brilliantly. They just drained really fast, and I was able to use the bottom tray here to just fill up with water and then water those 4 little ones separate from the bottom. By the time I carried those to the table, the little trays had soaked up all the water from the bottom tray, just proving that they work as good as any factory produced garden centre product. So why not use them? Honestly, I love them. But in terms of their solidity, they carried no problem in a big stack like that. Can you imagine how many times you have to walk backwards and forwards to the greenhouse or to the potting bench or whatever, carrying one at a time? Well, you don't have to now. You can carry them in a big stack, even when they are wet. So, I mean, you don't need to see me do this. I just basically sewed them up with some salad, and I sewed the smaller ones up with some parsley, different types of parsley. I went back to the shop to buy some more because I'd run out, because I do use them for cooking as well. So that's what I mean about them being versatile. I mean, I actually normally keep these in my kitchen baking cupboard. But I got them out today to do this video and then ran out. So I rushed out to get some more because sometimes the shop does run out. And then there we go. It was all done. I had all that sewing done in, honestly, a few minutes. I mean, including the filming, the thing probably only took me half an hour. And I was just amazed by the efficiency and how cheap it was. So of course, if I didn't count the cost of the seeds or the compost, but if you are starting new from scratch, or you're just fed up of buying cruddy old plastic pots and you don't want to use your ornamental pots, you want nice flowers and things in those. And for these, I'm not even going to transplant these. I mean, maybe the parsley, but the salad is just going to be used as a cut and come again crop. So it's just going to stay in these pots, these trays. So now that I've sown them, that's it until I harvest. It could not be any more efficient than that, and no risk of any dodgy plastics getting into the soil, getting into my system. I sowed 3 trays of lettuce, 4 of parsley, and these cosmos here. And then yesterday I did all these zinnias, and you can see how neatly they all just fit on the shelf. If you want to watch that video, I'll link it below. Yeah, so what else can I say but go and get yourself some foil trays, and you'll realise just how fantastic they are as seed starting trays. Anyhow, hope this really helped. Hope it helps your budget. Hope it helps you garden when you think perhaps you haven't got time or the money. I hope that, this will encourage you maybe to have a go. All right, thanks for watching. See you again soon. Don't forget to subscribe, of course. I know it's boring to say, but really, people subscribe when you ask. So please subscribe. Thanks for watching. Bye.